I'm Robert, and in this image, we're going to fix this nasty color cast and take this image from here to here, all in Lightroom. I drove out to Palos Verde, California with my friend. We went to go scouting locations. It was my first time here, and there's a lot of great coastline here, but I wasn't seeing a lot of compositions. The lighthouse on the cliff made this an obvious first choice. As you can see, there isn't really any clouds in the sky, so I waited for twilight. Luckily, the lighthouse turned on its light. I wanted to smooth out the ocean completely, so I used a 30-second shutter speed. There's a bit of a color cast and a weird white balance, so we're going to have to take care of that. Also, the water's quite dark right here by the shoreline, so I'm going to try and brighten that up. So let's get started at the bottom like we always do. Click on current version. We're going to skip vignetting. Let's go to constrain crop. We're going to zoom in on the horizon. You can see Catalina here, which is pretty cool. Let's straighten this image. That's good. Now let's keep going up. As always, remove chromatic aberrations and enable profile corrections. Let's apply our standard sharpening, 100, and applying a mask also. Hold down Alt. We're just going to sharpen the cliffs. I don't want to sharpen the water or the sky. Scroll up and skip the color section for now and go to the basic panel. Let's see if we can fix this weird white balance. Let's try cooling it down a bit. And we're going to need to adjust the tint quite a bit too. If we zoom in on the cliff, it looks like our white balance is pretty good here on the rocks. This image is quite dark, even though I was only shooting at f6.3. I must have been stacking filters. That would explain the weird color cast. I must have not taken them off. Let's bring the exposure up a bit, brighten this image up. The sky is quite bright, so let's bring the highlights all the way down. We're going to open the shadows up. To finish off setting our exposure, let's bring the white point up until we clip. Then we'll back it down. We'll go to about 50. We'll do the same with the black slider. Bring it down. When you clip, bring it back up. Now the image has a proper exposure and proper color. Let's work on tuning some of these colors. I'm going to start with luminance. If you see the sky here, it's quite bright. I can see orange and yellow, so let's bring those colors down, make them a bit darker. We brought the luminance down. Now let's bring the saturation up in those two colors. Let's continue working on the sky. Grab the grad tool and pull it down while holding shift. Holding shift will straighten out the horizon line. Let's add some saturation into the sky. That's obviously too much, so let's back it down until we have a nice look. We'll go with 62. While we're still working on the sky, let's double check for spots. We have a few. Make sure visualize spots is turned on. Hover over them, bring them a bit closer, press enter. Let's take care of these few dust spots we have. That was easy enough. Now let's see what we can do with this ocean here. Let's grab our brush tool, make sure auto mask is turned on. I'm going to brush in these dark areas. Press O to turn on our overlay so we can see where we're working. Let's turn our feather up so we can blend in this area here along the transition. Press O, we'll turn off our overlay. And let's add some exposure. You can see if we go up too high, it's obvious where our line is. So let's back it down. Looks like we can only go 0.1. So it makes it a little bit brighter. Let's grab another brush. Continue working on this water here. this time just the white water. So we'll brush in all of this. It has a weird color tint to it, so let's see if we can fix that. Make it a little more pure white and maybe brighten it up a bit. So it looks a little blue, so we can counteract that by bringing the color temperature up. We'll try about there. And now we'll brighten it up using the exposure. That looks too much, so we'll just back it down. We'll go with a half a stop. Close out our brush. So we made a pretty dramatic change here. We fixed the nasty color cast and weird white balance and some dark spots, and have a much more natural looking image now. This is probably one of the few times that I used a ultra long exposure to smooth out the ocean. I wish the sky was a little bit darker and we could see the light beam coming across, but that wasn't the case. Let's take a look at our composition here. These are our rule of thirds lines. We have our horizon up towards the top, and we have a nice line that swoops through the image. So it starts on the bottom right and then goes all the way up to the top left. It helps lead your eye through the image. I've been back to Palos Verdes a couple times, but I really haven't found a good spot that I really liked. If you want to share your spots with me, follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.